Hello there, Assalamualaikum. You are now watching English News on TVS. These are the headlines. CM Legal Education. MIPD to build Sarawak River 6th bridge. Lorry driver perishes in head-on collision. The history of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 MA63 and the Sarawak State legal system should be included in the syllabus of legal studies programs in this country. Chief Minister Dato' Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Abang Haji Openg said it is vital to ensure legal practitioners are equipped with the knowledge holistically.
Mereka yang belajar undang-undang di institusi pengajian tinggi di Malaysia, saya difahamkan oleh mereka yang keluar yang mempunyai ijazah undang-undang LLB dari institusi tempatan, silabus mereka tidak ada mengandungi sejarah Malaysian Agreement. Mereka tidak belajar Malaysian Agreement dan juga undang-undang yang ada di negeri Sabah dan negeri Sarawak. Ini difahamkanlah. Jadi sebab itu saya anjurkan supaya ada subjek undang-undang yang memberi latar belakang mengenai dengan wujudnya Malaysian Agreement.
Besides, he said the legal systems on land and customs should be learned inclusively, adding that the implementation and disclosure should also be made using a new approach.
Dalam sukatan pelajaran mereka. Dan keduanya mengenai dengan undang-undang tanah. Kerana kita undang-undang tanah kita berkisar kepada torrent system New Zealand dan Australia. Dan mereka mesti tahu mengenai dengan undang-undang tanah kita. Nombor tiganya, undang-undang mengenai dengan adat. Mesti tahu. Jadi kalau mereka menjadi seorang hakim, mereka mempunyai latar belakang sedemikian. Ini saya rasa betul tak betul, wallahu alam. Ini dah ketahui kepada saya. Mereka yang belajar jurusan undang-undang tidak ada belajar mengenai dengan perkara-perkara ini.
Thus, he said the phenomenon proves that there has been deficiency in legal study programs in this country. With the new approach, he said law students will be trained holistically to strengthen the legal system in Malaysia based on one understanding. He said this in a special interview at his office in Wisma Bapa, Malaysia on Thursday.
Besides focusing on developing a transportation network in coastal areas, the Sarawak government is also planning to build a new bridge across Sarawak River. This bridge hopes to alleviate traffic congestion from Samarahan to Kuching. In announcing this, Assistant Minister of Infrastructure and Port Development, Dato' Julaihi Narawi, said this is one of the components of the coastal road network in the state.
Jambatan tersebut. Dan satu lagi jambatan yang saya lupa sebut tadi ialah yang menghubungkan, sebab kita nak benakan jambatan di Sungai Sarawak untuk menyelesaikan masalah traffic jam ya. Daripada Semerahan ke Kuching ya, dan kita perlu bina satu lagi jambatan menyeberangi Sungai Sarawak. Maknanya lengkap jambatan yang kita bina di laluan jalan pesisir. So it is a complete package lah.
Di mana itu?
Ya.
Di mana itu?
Tidak jauh daripada BCCK ya.
Commenting further, he said his ministry has identified a site for the purpose located nearby the Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching, BCCK. However, details such as cost estimation has yet to be divulged. So far, there are 5 bridges across the Sarawak River, including Tambak Bako Bridge, Tun Ahmad Salahuddin Bridge, and the Darul Hana Bridge. He said this when met by the media at his office at Baitul Makmur Complex in Kuching on Thursday.
Ops Banting will be prolonged in efforts to curb trespassing and other illicit activities in safeguarding the nation's territorial security, including Sarawak.
Sekarang ni, insya-Allah saya boleh katakan bahawa dengan adanya operasi-operasi seperti ini, kan, kita dapat tentukan bahawa perairan kita sekarang ini dalam keadaan yang terkawal.
According to Effendi, his forces have thwarted several smuggling or illegal entry attempts on a daily basis and expressed confidence that his forces can administrate the issue to the best of their ability. Effendi also said a strategic pact has been agreed to between the Malaysian Armed Forces, ATM, and the Indonesian National Army, TNI, to further enhance the security of the borders.
Buat masa ni kerjasama antara kedua-dua pihak iaitu ATM dengan TNI kan memang dah sedia terjalin kan. Saya punya unit-unit barisan hadapan yang berada di situ, mereka sentiasa berkomunikasi tentang kawasan-kawasan keselamatan bersama. Ini kita telah terjalin semenjak dulu lagi kan, tetapi daripada masa ke semasa kita pertingkatkan kan, jika kita rasa ada keperluan kan, maka dengan keadaan sekarang ni di mana kita tak nak orang keluar masuk situ tanpa kawalan, jadi kerjasama ni kita pertingkatkan.
A foreign man met a watery grave after falling overboard while working on a fishing vessel in Tanjung Manis, while another man, also a foreigner, is feared drowned in Kuala Baram.
A body was discovered afloat at Sungai Barong by a local fisherman from Kampung Rajang at 10:18 a.m. A victim identification by a colleague confirmed that the body was of Iqbal Ramadan, 27, from Indonesia, based on clothes the victim was clad in. A search and rescue operation, SAR, was activated to locate the missing victim on Wednesday upon receiving a report on the incident the night before at 11:45 p.m. According to a spokesperson from the Fire and Rescue Department, the victim's absence was realized by other crew as they set off 18 nautical miles from Sungai Rejang estuary.
Meanwhile, another search and rescue operation has entered its second day in search for a missing Indonesian in Kuala Baram.
The victim, identified as 32-year-old Andriadi Cristianto, is feared drowned while trying to untie a rope from a tugboat propeller on Monday. The Fire and Rescue Department received a report on the matter at 4:05 p.m., which prompted a search operation to be activated.
The Modernization of Agriculture, Native Land and Regional Development Ministry plans to set up an inspectorate unit to oversee all projects under the ministry to run smoothly with quality assurance. Its Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Uga Amba said this unit would be able to attend to any issues affecting any project delivery as well as the people's complaint.
I fully supported the idea to have the unit for inspectorate. I think we need that unit so that we can quickly check on complaint. Sekarang dengan ada WhatsApp, komplain datang serta-merta. Tetapi kalau kita tunggu 1 bulan untuk reacting to that complaint, we are in deep trouble.
He said this at the Ministry's Integrity Day in Kuching. The setting up of the unit mooted by the Ministry's Permanent Secretary Edwin Abid is tasked to monitor or conduct spot checks on projects and service deliveries under the Ministry.
Unit ini saya rasa amat penting kerana tugasnya ialah untuk membuat lawatan mengejut ataupun audit-audit ke atas projek-projek dan servis-servis delivery yang kita adakan.
ManRed Integrity Day celebration for this year saw the convergence of 150 participants from external industrial player and stakeholders, with its theme Integrity the Core of Success.
Saya menyeru semua usahawan di luar sana untuk menerapkan nilai integriti dalam perniagaan dan jangan abaikan sekecil mana pun kesalahan seperti rasuah kerana yang mampu untuk mendatangkan kemudaratan kepada perniagaan kita.
Parti Pesaka Bumiputera Bersatu (PBB) is set to paint the town red as it is set to hold its second mini conventions in Banting. The upcoming conventions will focus on several issues pertaining to land, politics, entrepreneurs development and development on infrastructure and amenities.
Deputy President Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahmas said in a statement, some 800 party leaders and members from 14 branches, namely Bukit Saban, Spau, Layar, Betiang Maro, Saribas, Kelakar, Batang Air, Angkelili, Lingga, Sebuyau, Simanggang, Krian and Kabong are expected to be present. Leaders from GPS component parties and the party's veteran members will also be present during the convention. Uga, who is also the Minister of Agriculture and Modernization, Native Land and Regional Development, will talk land and its related issues. During the convention, Dato' Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar, who is the Minister of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives and Simanggang PBB Chief, is scheduled to talk on entrepreneurs' development. PBB President Dato' Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg is expected to grace the one-day convention.
Sarawak's election could be on the cards, as depicted by Parti Pesaka Bumiputera Bersatu Vice President Dato' Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, indicating that the state poll is expected to take place by the end of this year.
I think it's an open secret already that it's going to be held soon. It's going to be held soon.
After the convention, right?
Yeah, personally, I see it will be by the end of the year. That's how I see it, by the end of the year. Because how are we going to have it next year? There's so many events coming up next year.
Risky, is it?
Not to say that it's risky, but then we feel that we are ready for it.
It is poised that the state poll is to be held concurrently with the general election, whereby such approach was needed due to the current political situation in the country, with the federal government having a slim majority in parliament.
Personally, I feel the federal election or Pilihan Raya Umum has to be held also in the near future. We cannot have a parliament where the difference between the opposition and the government of the day is just 1 or 2 seats. It's just too risky. It's just too risky. If one MP pass away, then we may be a hung parliament. Follow us or we follow them. If they dissolve parliament earlier than us, then we have to follow them. But then, looking at it, they will have to follow us if they want it to be simultaneous. Because ours is already so close by.
How close?
He said this in an opening ceremony of the new Management Center of Sarawak Crafts Council office in Kuching on Wednesday.
Ministry of Housing and Local Government KPKT plans to build 3,549 units of affordable homes within the next 3 years to enable more people, especially the low-income earners, to be house owners in Sarawak. The ministry would coordinate the housing project under the Rumah Mampu Milik RMM for the year 2020 until 2023.
According to its Deputy Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ismail Abdul Muttalib, the houses will be built under the Project Perumahan Rakyat PPR with 750 units, Private Pension Administrator Malaysia PPAM with 538 units, and Syarikat Perumahan Negara Berhad SPNB housing program with 1,559 units. For the transit home program, Ismail said it is not made available in Sarawak. He said this in response to the question posed by Senator Robert Lau Hui Yu in the Parliament.
Sarawak today recorded no new COVID-19 cases, maintains its total cumulative tally at 700. With the Alam cluster remains active with 8 cases, 7 of the cases have recovered and discharged from the Bintulu Hospital.
State Disaster Management Committee SDMC informed that only 1 case of the Alam cluster is still undergoing treatment at Bintulu Hospital. 5 cases is still under treatment in the isolation ward throughout Sarawak. 2 is in Bintulu Hospital, 1 in Sarawak General Hospital, 1 in Sibu Hospital and another one in Miri Hospital. PDRM had issued 5 compound for non-compliance of Standard Operating Procedures (SOP), with 2 in Kuching, 1 at Kotas Marahan, 1 in Padawan, and another in Sarike.
2 directors have been remanded by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) for allegedly submitting claims amounting millions of ringgit to the Defence Ministry. The 2 are aged 42 and 44 and were directors of a company which allegedly monopolies the road construction projects worth 800 million ringgit.
Magistrate Zubaida Sharkawi allowed the MACC's application for the 2 to be remanded for 2 days to facilitate investigations on the corruption allegations at the Kuching Courts Complex today. They were detained in a special operation on Tuesday for investigation. The directors are business partners and own 3 companies awarded for the upgrading road construction projects in the interior areas of Sarawak. The duo arrived at the court complex at 8:45 a.m. escorted by the MACC officers. They were represented by a panel of lawyers, Shankar Ram Asnani, Albert Tang Yu Leong, Lim Heng Chu, and Ellen Law, while the prosecution was conducted by MACC Deputy Prosecutor S. Tanggavelu. Initial investigation revealed that the Jiwa Murni project was an initiative to connect small towns in the interior of Sarawak, under the Defence Ministry awarded to the companies belonging to the suspects from 2010 to 2016. The false claims are said to be made for 10 road upgrading projects in Sarawak, valued at 800 million ringgit. However, the construction quality failed to meet specifications and bad condition of roads had received ill complaints by the local communities, as the roads can't even be used and were damaged just months after it was built. Among the affected areas include Miri, Kapit, Baklalan, Limbang, and Balaga. Meanwhile, MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner Operation Ahmad Kusairi Yahaya confirmed the case and that investigations are conducted with the cooperation of the Defence Ministry after an internal audit report done by the ministry showed the project's failure. The case is being investigated under Section 16(b), 17(a), and Section 18 of the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Act 2009.
And that concludes the English news for tonight. I'm Shira Mansor for TVS, anytime, anywhere.